Hello students, today we are going to see image segmentation. Now this you can consider as a revision lecture or a test lecture, because here I will be covering few of the points that we have already seen in the class, but for the continuation of the next topic we need to revise it once. So I am starting initially from the start of the image segmentation. So before image segmentation, we need to first need to know what is the difference between image enhancement that we have already learned and image segmentation that we are going to learn right now. So image enhancement techniques that we have seen till now, they are all used to enhance or improve the quality of the image which may be damaged because of noise or blurring. Okay. In case of segmentation, what we are doing is we need to find out the contents of the image. Actually, we need to find. We are trying to read the image here and finding out some meaning from the image. Now, as human being, if the image is given to us, we can read that image easily and we can say what all objects are present or what is the meaning coming out of that image. But when an image is given to computer, and the computer has to take some decision based on the contents of the image, at that point we need image segmentation techniques. That means in case of automation we need these techniques of image segmentation. So as the name suggests here, the image is segmented into different parts or regions. Now why we wanted to do that? Because we need to identify different objects in the image. So first what is done is image is segmented or divided into those objects first. So we need to identify each object separately and then only we can find out some meaning out of it. So here for this we are going to use many image segmentation algorithms, but all these algorithms are based on one of the two approaches. So which are these two approaches that we are using for image segmentation? The first approach is based on discontinuities in intensity levels present in the image. And the second approach is based on similarities in intensity levels. So this has something to do with different intensity levels. So let's see, if I'm having an image like this with all the background pixels of the same value or background intensity at the same level, and we are having an object here. So usually, when this is the case, how do we identify that there is an object present in the image? Because of differences in the intensity levels. The intensity level of the background is different, the intensity level of the object is different, and that's why we identify that yes, there is some object present in the background. If both the things, that background intensity level and the object intensity level is same, then it becomes very difficult to identify that there is some object present in that image. And this is the thing that we are going to use here to find out whether the object is present in the image or not. So the first approach is discontinuity based. So here what we are doing is we are trying to find out the discontinuities or difference in intensity levels in the image. So as if I start scanning the image from the origin point here, and if I go for the first line, second line, you can see this is all background intensity levels and all are at same level. Okay, so we will not find any discontinuity in the image. But as we go on scanning this image one by one, somewhere at some point you can say here maybe there will be a difference in the intensity level, and this we call it as discontinuity in the intensity level. Okay, and where this discontinuity will be present? It will be present at the edge of this object. So you can see now, if I see the background, the intensity levels are same, right? If I see inside the object, the intensity levels are almost the same. Okay, so where actually the discontinuity is only at the edge of the object we find out the discontinuity. So in this approach of which is discontinuity based approach, what we are trying to find out is the edges of the object. So this approach is based on just find out the edge. If there is any edge found, that means there is some object present in the image. Second approach is similarity based approach. So what we are trying to find out here is similar intensity levels. So if I just see this image again, what I can see is background is having similar intensity levels as well as the object is also having similar intensity levels. So if I try to find out in the image given, if I can find out a group of pixels having same intensity levels, that also results in identifying an object in the image. So if I try to find out this as on the similarity based approach, I will just I can find out the whole object because the object is having the same intensity level. So we are trying to find out the object based on similarity based. So here we are finding out the whole object as such, not only the edge. So this approach can be done using two methods. One is thresholding and second is region growing, maybe merging or splitting. So you can use any of this. So total in image segmentation we are going to see these three methods. The first method will find out the edges. The second method is thresholding and region growing. We'll be seeing it in details later on. So let's start with the first method, that is discontinuity based method or discontinuity based approach, where we are trying to find out the edges of the images. So as we have discussed, this discontinuity based approach is going to find out the edges of the images. Okay, so if I take any image, which will be the different cases where we are going to find out discontinuity in the image? So mostly we consider that the background intensity levels are same, and if there are some objects placed, the intensity levels are different. So this is the first example that I have taken. If there is a object present here, as we have seen discussed, as I start scanning the image line by line, here's on the edges of this particular object, I can find out the discontinuity. So this is the first case where we can find out the discontinuity at the edges of the object. Second, not necessarily every time we have an object of similar kind which is having some shape or a enclosed can say portion. So in case if I am having simple a line on in the image, so here also you can see wherever there is a line, there is a discontinuity in the intensity level, and that's why we can observe a line here. So the second is line. And third is, even if I am having a small dot on this background where having the intensity level same, so this also represents the discontinuity in the intensity level. So this is the third case where we can find out the discontinuity in the image. So in this approach, what we are doing is we are trying to find out either if any point is lying in the image which forms a discontinuity in the background level, whether there is a line present or whether there is a edge present in the image. Now all these three, whatever is present in the image, all these three represent what? Abrupt change. Right? So if I'm having a background and its intensity levels are decreasing very smoothly, there we cannot observe any object. So whenever we have something like this, there is abrupt change in the intensity level happening, and that's why we can notice all these things. So whenever we go for abrupt change in the intensity level, we can correlate it with the high frequency region, isn't it? As we have already discussed, we can represent image in terms of high frequency region and low frequency region, or high frequency component and low frequency component. Wherever there is no abrupt change in the intensity level, smooth intensity levels, we can represent, or we can say that area is representing a low frequency region. And whenever we have an abrupt change, we represent it by, or we consider it as a high frequency region. So all these things come under high frequency region, and that's why now our approach will be changing, not only to find out the edges, lines and points as such, but finding the high frequency region in the image. Is there any high frequency region or high frequency component present in the image? If yes, then there is a possibility of having either edge, line or point. Now how to differentiate between these, that we'll see later. So for this, what we are going to use is a high pass mask. We have already practiced how to use a mask on the image, and we have seen low pass and high pass mask. So out of which, if I take this mask, a simple mask, this we have already seen, middle this is minus 8 and all these are -1. We know that for high pass mask, the addition of all the components, all the weights should be 0. So if I just take this high pass mask and apply in the image, I can find out the high frequency components in the image, and if they are there, then we can say that there are abrupt changes in the image, and we can find out these 3 different things from the image. So let's take one example. Let's start with point detection because it's easy. So we'll go first to point, then lines, and then edges. Suppose there is one point in the image. Now, where in this case can happen that only there is discontinuity in terms of points. Whenever we are, suppose something is manufactured in the company, some components, and if they find some point in that, and it is scanned, they find some point there, they can correlate it with some manufacturing defect. So there it is useful to detect the point. So now, for example, we'll take a small part of image, and that also will take a binary image in terms of ones and zeros to ease the calculations. So let's consider that suppose I'm having an image like this, part of the image, where these all represent a background pixel, and there is one pixel which is having value 1. Right? So we can say that this is different than the background, so there is an abrupt change in the intensity level. Now how? That means there will be some high frequency component present in the image. So we wanted to find out this. So we are going to apply the mask, which is the high frequency or high pass mask just now we have discussed. So before applying the mask, so let's say this example, we have taken a piece of image here. So before applying a high pass mask, we wanted to find out the presence of point. We'll first pad this image, and we'll always do padding, replication padding I am using here. So after padding this image, first start applying a mask. Which mask we are applying? We are applying a mask, a simple high frequency mask, high pass mask. It is this. Because we wanted to detect a point, only one weight out of this mask is given a maximum weightage of 1 point is given maximum weightage, and all other points are negative. So this mask is very useful in finding out the points in the images. So we have padded the image, and we'll start applying the mask here. As you know, first we'll apply mask here, then we'll shift apply mask here, and so on. So after applying the mask, this procedure you know, so I'm just keeping this. What will be the result after applying the mask? Again, we are going to get a 3x3 image. And what that image will be? This will result into all these values 0, 0, 0, and these values -1. And wherever we have point, we'll get a value, maximum value, that is 8. Okay, you can do it and see whether you're getting the same results. So what we are getting is this. So what does it mean? What does it mean? From this now, how can I find out that there is a point present in the image? Because only one value out of this is having a maximum value. That means there is a point present in the image. So only one value is there having a maximum weightage. Now if this is the case where we can consider this is the whole white background and there is one point here which is a black dot. The case can be reversed. The background can be black and this point can be white. So if I replace all these zeros with ones and this point with 0 and apply the same mask, then I am going to get a different result. What result I am going to get? I am going to get the result like this. So here we get 0, 0, 0. These points will get plus and we will get here minus 8. Okay. So in both these cases, here also and here also, we are getting maximum value, right? But here we are getting positive value. In this case, we are getting negative value. In both cases, it is representing a point. So how to identify it? But there are other values also appearing like this. Here we have -1, here we have 1. Not all values are 0. So how to identify there is a point? So for that, we need to decide some threshold. Okay, because this is a binary image, we are only getting 0, 1 and 8. But there may be some image where other pixel values are there, and with 8 or -8, the other values will also appear. So somewhere we need to decide ki after what value I'll consider the thing as point, and after which values will not be considered as point. So for that we need to decide a threshold. So suppose this is my resultant 1 and this is resultant 2. So for that I need to write a equation. So we will write a equation in general. We will take a mod, because here we are getting the value 8 and here getting the value -8. But we are only interested in the maximum value. So we take a mod of it. So if mod of r is greater than or equal to the threshold value which is been set, then only that point will be considered as that pixel will be considered as a point. Otherwise all those other values will be becoming 0. Okay, so after applying this threshold value, if I apply it here, all this and if I'm setting a threshold as, let us say, 8, so all the values except this value will become 0 and only this point remains in the image. Here also this point remains in the image. So from there we can find out, we'll come to know that yes, the point is present in the image. One thing that you have to remember here is, whatever threshold value we are using, this threshold value is always going to be 1. The threshold value will always be positive. Threshold value cannot be negative. So using this high pass mask, we found out that yes, whatever may be the case, we can find out the image, the point, by using this particular equation after applying the equation. Now let's see for lines. The presence of lines in the image. Same thing we have to do, but the mask here in case of lines is going to change. Right? So if I say line, detection of lines, so lines is not an individual point like we have discussed just now, but it is we can say it is a group of connected points, isn't it? So it is a group of points. So whenever we have a group of points, the lines will be having direction. In case of point, there is no as such thing called a direction, but whenever we go for lines, we need to see the direction of the line. So which are all directions can be possible? Yes, we know first it can be horizontal line, it can be vertical line, or it can be an inclined line. So in case of inclined, we are considering two cases: inclined with plus 45 degrees and inclined with minus 45 degrees. Okay. So we wanted to find out these lines. Now every time when we say we wanted to find lines, it is not general. Sometimes I need to find only horizontal lines. Sometimes I need to find only the vertical lines or only inclined lines. So I need to find out these lines separately, and because of that we are going to use 4 different masks here. One mask for each direction. So if I see the horizontal mask, because I wanted to scan or find out the horizontal line, more weightage will be given to the horizontal points. So all the horizontal points, in between points are given more weightage, and the rest of the points will be, rest of the weights will be -1. So you can just see the addition of all these weights is going to be 0 at the end. So this is a high pass mask only, but the weights have been adjusted so that it will detect a horizontal line. Similarly, if I wanted to detect a vertical line, the mask will change in vertical direction. So the more weightage will be given in vertical direction, and the rest of the components or weights will be -1. Similarly for plus 45 degree and minus 45. So plus 45, this is the direction in which weights will be assigned more value, and all rest will be 0, and the last will be for minus 45 degrees, where the weights will be having more value in the minus 45 degree inclination. So here for detecting a line, we are going to use 4 different masks. So there can be a case where you have an image, and in that image all types of lines are present, and I wanted to detect all types of lines. So in the same image you can apply these masks separately, and you can observe their effects separately. But in case if I'm having a image and I just wanted to find out only horizontal lines, so what I'll do is I'll apply only the horizontal mask. So this will give me result of only horizontal mask, and all other lines in the image, in the resultant image, we'll see only the horizontal lines. All other lines will be eliminated. Similarly, when I apply vertical mask, I will see only vertical lines in the image, and all the other lines will be eliminated. So depending on the situation, either we'll apply all the mask or only one mask at a time. Let's see now the example. We are taking a small example here. Again a 3x3 image which is having a line here. So this is an example of having a line of minus 45 degree inclination, and all other pixels are 0. Again a binary image I am considering. So when you apply now, this is the image part. What we are going to do is we are going to apply all 4 masks on it and find out what is the resultant. So when I apply a horizontal mask that I have shown you, I am now directly showing you the resultant of it. For horizontal, vertical, plus 45 degrees and minus 45 degrees. After applying the mask on this that we have seen just now, what results we will get? So here after applying the mask, we are getting 1, 0, minus 1, 0, 0, 0 and minus 1, 0, 1. When I apply a vertical mask, the resultant is, obviously I have used here a padding before applying the mask, replicated padding, so I got these results. For plus 45, this is the result for minus 45, 4, 0, 0. So you can see the results of all the 4 masks on this image. So what do you observe? The first horizontal mask we got most of the values 0. Few values we got, but they are only 1 and -1. But whenever we have seen that whenever we apply mask and we get negative values in the image, the negative values make no sense in the image. So finally we are going to make it 0. So if I make all these values negative values 0, so this will become 0, this will become 0. These all negative values will become 0. Here also this becomes 0. So after making all these values 0, what I observe is only one mask is giving me the maximum response after applying the mask. And which is that mask? That mask is for -45 degrees, where I am getting the maximum response. So the values are 6, 4 and 4. So that shows that this mask has got a maximum response. That means a line of inclination -45 is present in the image. The rest all masks got a very less response. So this is how we can find out lines in the images.